Is this the beginning of a Eric DeCosta redemption arc? That's kind of what it feels like. Almost like if you're watching an anime and like a character that everybody turns on is starting to go through his whole journey where he's gonna get redemption. And I know most people actually didn't turn on Eric DeCosta, but a lot of us were starting to look at him funny. And we should have made sure we looked at him funny. Real quick before I keep going, make sure you guys hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. I go by the name Emphasis. This is my new Ravens channel. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna call it Ravens Over Everything. So make sure you guys like and hit the subscribe button. And I want to get to 100. If I could get to 100 subscribers in a month, that would be awesome. But yeah, like Eric DeCosta, I've never had anything against him necessarily, but I've never been one to think that we should just put all our trust in him. Like I always felt like he hasn't yet earned that right for us to say, oh, in EDC we trust Eric DeCosta is a godfather. Like I really just don't agree with any of that, because again, he's been a GM for 5 seconds. And has he done things that I think has worked out? Yeah. Him making the trade for Marcus Peters, I think that worked out just fine. I was kind of questioning that Orlando Brown Jr. trade, but depending on how things work out with Jason Uwe, who is what we drafted with the Chiefs' 31st pick, hey, that might turn out to be an amazing pick. I mean, that might turn out to be an amazing trade. So I really don't know, but I feel like we should all, as a Ravens flock, just like sit back and let him prove over time that he's worthy of that trust. Like, you can't give somebody the keys you can't hand somebody over, your trust in like 5 seconds, just because they worked under somebody else that you trusted. Just because he was under Ozzie Newsome doesn't mean you just hand him your trust over right out the gate. Shout out to Lunch Break Hot Take. I think they're the only people in sort of like the Ravens flock with the channel that I've seen go out of their way to point this out. But yeah, and it doesn't mean I hate Eric DeCosta. I just think, let's just sit back, let a couple years pass, 5 years, 10 years, and before we get to that point where we just blindly trust this guy. But so far, I think he's definitely headed in a better direction now, because after missing all those free agents this past year, and I know a lot of people are saying there weren't that many free agents. Look, man, you only needed one receiver. There's no reason you're telling me that there was nobody out there. Like, come on, dog. You had a shot at Antonio Brown, didn't get him. Kenny Galladay didn't get him. Juju Smith-Schuster didn't get him. Corey Davis didn't get him. Like that, there was more than enough people out there. It wasn't like an overabundance of them, but there was more than enough. You just needed one. And I still think they messed up especially with the Juju Smith-Schuster one, because only offering him $1 million more than everybody else, like, that's technically the best offer, but that's not truly the best offer, especially when he knows if he comes over to us, he probably would see a dip in his numbers, and that he couldn't demand as much money next year. So I think if they had offered him $12 million, Juju would have been in Baltimore right now. But I mean, we'll see. The Julio Jones trade, I still think it's gonna happen. And if EDC pulls off a Julio Jones trade, where we have Julio, Rashad Bateman, Hollywood Brown, and Mark Andrews all on the field at the same time for Lamar to throw to, and we still can run the ball, like, at that point I'm just gonna be thinking about the Super Bowl. Like, cause what else are you really gonna think about at that point? Like, we already got a top 10 defense. We already got one of the more reliable special teams units in the league. We already got the best rushing attack, I mean, technically ever. Like, so at that point, it would like, you add in like a receiving, you put together a receiving core that is actually a threat. Oh, now all of a sudden we in a whole different conversation. Now at this point, we might as well just start talking about the Super Bowl. But what do you guys think? What's your opinion on Eric DeCosta? Do you guys like him? Do you guys think he's the Godfather? Do you guys think he's Do you guys subscribe to the hashtag in EDC We Trust? Do you guys hate him? Like, what do you think he's doing so far since he's taken over as the GM, and how do you think he's handled the off season so far?
I put emphasis on it.